My name is Olivia Carter. I'm 36 years old. I work as a registered nurse in a large emergency hospital where every second matters and every decision can change a life. I've never been someone who talks loudly or demands attention. In my husband's family, that made me invisible. They are people who measure worth by job titles, money, and who you know. I didn't check any of those boxes in their eyes. My husband tries to be supportive, but when his parents are around, he chooses silence instead of standing beside me. I grew up in a small home where nothing came easy. I worked night shifts while studying, pushed through exhaustion, and earned every step of my career. I've always believed that helping people in their worst moments is something to be proud of. But to them, it was something small, something replaceable. I wasn't dressed in luxury or speaking about investments. I was just the nurse. Or at least that's what they thought. What they didn't understand was simple. My work wasn't ordinary, and neither was I. That wedding was supposed to celebrate love, but instead it revealed every hidden judgment they carried. If you've ever been judged for your job or your background, hit that subscribe button. I know what it feels like to be overlooked. Share your story in the comments because I read them all. And if you believe respect should be earned, not assumed, click hype and stay with me. The reception was perfect on the outside. Soft music filled the air, glasses clinked gently, and the scent of fresh flowers mixed with expensive perfume. But underneath that beauty, there was a clear line. Important guests sat near the center, laughing and talking. People like me were pushed aside. I had barely taken my seat when my mother-in-law handed me a tray. "Help the staff," she said with a tight smile. I hesitated, then nodded. I didn't want to cause a scene. As I moved through the crowd, she introduced me again and again. "This is Olivia. She's a nurse," she said, like it explained everything. Then she added, "She's used to cleaning up after people." A few guests laughed softly. My chest felt heavy, but I kept moving. When I tried to sit near my husband, she stopped me. "That area is reserved." I looked at him. He avoided my eyes. "Just let it go," he whispered. I swallowed my words. Then suddenly, a woman near the front swayed and collapsed. The music cut off. People stepped back in shock. I rushed forward without thinking. My mother-in-law grabbed my arm. "Don't make a scene," she said sharply. I pulled away and knelt beside the woman, checking her breathing, speaking calmly. My hands moved on instinct. That's when I felt someone watching closely. A man stepped forward, his expression shifting from concern to recognition. After everything settled, the woman was stable, but the way my in-laws reacted didn't change. "Anyone would have helped," someone said casually. I stood there, hearing my effort reduced to nothing. Then I overheard my mother-in-law speaking again. "She likes to act important," she told a group. "It's just her way." That cut deeper than I expected. Later, I passed by a quiet corner and heard them talking about future plans, trips, investments, decisions. Then one voice said, "She doesn't belong in those conversations." I froze. My heart pounded, but I kept walking. My husband stood nearby, silent once again. That silence said everything. I started pulling away. I spoke less. I stopped trying. Every smile felt forced. Every laugh felt distant. They believed they had defined me, put me in a box, and maybe part of me had allowed it, but not anymore. Across the room, I noticed the same man again, the doctor, watching, waiting, like he knew something they didn't. I stepped outside for a moment, letting the cool air settle my thoughts. I thought about the hospital, the constant noise, the pressure, the moments where everything depends on you. What they didn't know was simple. I wasn't just a nurse. I had years of advanced training. I had worked on critical cases that most people never see, situations where hesitation means failure. I had led teams when time was running out. I didn't talk about it because I never needed approval. But standing there, I realized something. I had stayed quiet for too long. That quiet had been mistaken for weakness. I looked back inside and saw the doctor again. He gave me a small nod. He knew. And for the first time that night, I felt something shift. Not anger, not hurt, just clarity. I wasn't going to stay silent anymore. A few minutes later, the doctor approached me. "I remember you," he said. I looked at him, surprised. "You handled one of the toughest cases I've seen," he continued. His voice was calm but firm. "You were leading that team." I felt a quiet strength return. He told me he was invited to speak at the reception. That made my heart beat faster. Around us, my in-laws continued laughing, completely unaware. I straightened my posture, took a breath. I wasn't hiding anymore. The speeches were about to begin, and something told me this moment would change everything. When the doctor stepped onto the stage, the room quieted instantly. He spoke about dedication, about the people who work behind the scenes. Then he paused. "Olivia," he said, looking directly at me, "please come forward." The room turned. I walked up slowly. He faced the guests. "This woman you dismissed is one of the most capable professionals I've worked with." The silence was heavy. "She didn't just assist," he continued. "She led critical cases that saved lives." Gasps filled the room. My mother-in-law shifted uncomfortably, trying to speak, but no one listened. The woman I helped earlier stood up. "She helped me when no one else moved," she said. That was it. The truth stood clear in front of everyone. I looked at my husband. He looked down, ashamed. The balance had changed completely. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I simply said, "I know who I am." Then I stepped down. I didn't wait for apologies. I didn't need them anymore. I created distance quietly, but firmly. My husband finally understood what his silence had cost. My in-laws sat there, exposed by their own words. I walked away with my head high, and I realized something. Respect isn't given by others. It's built within yourself. That night, I stopped waiting for them to see me. I saw myself. If you've ever been judged or underestimated because of your job, you're not alone. People often fail to understand what they don't experience. Share your story in the comments because I want to hear how you proved them wrong. Subscribe and be part of a community that values real strength. Click hype and help this reach someone who needs it. Your story matters. If you connected with mine, subscribe and share your journey below. Every hype helps someone feel seen. Thank you for being here and listening.